He floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. Who else but Muhammad Ali, the controversial, colorful fighter who makes the ring ring with his rhetoric, lashing out against prejudice, war, even taking a few pot shots at Howard Cosell. Is he a super boxer or a superstar, a black hero, or is he king of the hype, a political figure or an athlete? Join me on the next Donahue when I welcome that pugilist and poet, Muhammad Ali.
The Donahue Show number 10267, Muhammad Ali.
Ladies and gentlemen, here certainly is more than an athlete. He's a political figure of the 20th century. I don't think you'll find too many folks who will argue with that. One of the most popular, talked about people in the world. Mention his name, and in some places you're in for an all-night argument. Maybe just a conversation. The heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali, right here. Heaviest I've ever seen you. You got a tummy there. That's old style beer, right?
Good living.
Yeah? You are a little, what are you, 227 or something there?
230.
230? That's the heaviest you've ever fought, isn't it?
No.
You've been heavy?
The fought, yeah, it's fought.
Yeah. You all right?
Hmm?
You're kind of nervous, aren't you, on the big show?
I'm scared to death.
I can tell you. These people have some hard hitters for you. Watch this angry question.
Hi, I'm Tessie Prusner from Arlington Heights, Illinois. And seeing you're so good at poetry, I was just wondering how you were graded by your teacher in English when you were in school.
Bad.
Bad, really?
E minus.
E, oh, not A plus?
I barely got out of school because what helped me, I was the Olympic champion. And they didn't want to fail me. See, in those days, schools weren't integrated. Central High was black. And Shawnee and Male High and all these white schools had certain football players with high honors, and they didn't want me to look bad, so they passed me.
Oh, I see.
But I'm not that good at reading or spelling or
Yeah,
writing.
but your poems,
I
you have to
have
be
a lot
good
of
in
common
English.
sense.
Oh, I see.
I write good poems.
Thank you.
I got a quick one about the show. I love this show. I admire their style, but their pay is so cheap, I won't be back for a while.
Gallagher from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and I'm a teacher, and I'd like to teach you reading since you're not too good at it. Would you be interested?
Not really. It's the hardest thing. I really hate it. I mean, I can get by, but to teach me the time it takes in studying, I don't like it. I might one day learn more about it.
Yes, sir.
Won't you all forgive me for my dress? I forgot all about coming on this show until the last 30 minutes.
How could you forget about...
I forgot, so I didn't have time to get dressed.
I listened to your friend Howard Cosell this morning,
My
and he
friend.
said Ali is getting old, he's lost a step, he talked about Ledoux, and he said the only reason you continue to fight is you can't turn down the money and you need it. Why do you continue to fight?
Well, Howard Cosell is always talking. I just fight a 15-round fight, naturally I'm winded. He gets the mic. Muhammad, you're tired. You're not the same man you were 10 years ago. And that shows you the limit of his intelligence. Who is the same they were 10 years ago? I'm gonna ask his wife, is he the same he was 2 years ago? Your question was what now?
Why do you continue to fight?
Well, I'm doing a lot of things, national, international, business-wise, where we live in a funny world. If you don't have no money, or if you don't have a name, you're nobody in this civilization we're in. But if you've been the world heavyweight champion, for example, I might be retired now, but I won't tell nobody until they force me. Like, you have about 1 year to fight a top contender. I just fought 3 weeks ago. So I can hold this title for 11 more months before I'm forced to fight. In those 11 months, I can do the Phil Donahue show as the heavyweight champion. I can go to England. I can go to Morocco. I can go to other countries, things I'm planning business-wise as the world champion. And you have more influence. You can be paid more. So therefore, I'm going to hold my title for 11 more months. I might defend it, I might not, but I got them all in suspense. And how I'm going to don't like is because I tell him off. I talk to him like I want to. I pull on his wig, threaten to pull you off. Anything he can say about me, he'll say. But they don't know what I'm going to do. I might fight, I might not, but I haven't decided yet.
You are the game, though. That's the whole point. Let me just, if I was a fight promoter, the worst thing that could happen to me is for you to get beat. You are the whole ball game. Without you, there's no ticket sales. So I'd be tempted to put some people in there to waltz around with you.
Well, I wish they'd give me some to waltz with me. Because all they give me are hard ones.
Well, there aren't that many talented challengers, are there? I mean, the fight
Well, you
game.
got Jimmy Young, I beat him once. He wants so close. They think he might win. You got Ken Norton, beat him twice. They think he may win. Joe Frazier's coming back. And you have a few of them, not that many.
You want to go out. Did I hear you say that there were no black heavyweight champs that retired with the crown?
No.
What about Lewis?
No.
Who beat Lewis?
Rocky Marciano.
Marciano did, yes.
He knocked him out. Well, Lewis, see, he retired and he came back, and he got knocked out. And Marciano appeared, regardless of color, Marciano and Gene Tooney were the only two that got out with the title. So I'm undefeated as a champion. The 2 fights I lost were not title fights with Norton and Frazier. So I'm still undefeated as a champion. And we like to go out with that image, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, they agree with that. So we not too anxious to do too much more gambling.
Yes, I was wondering, do you become friends with the men you fight? And also, when a man hits you and hurts you, do you want to come back harder at him? Do you dislike him for hurting you?
No, I just want to get away from him. Shake it off and don't get hurt no worse. No, you never get angry. You might think that, I'm going to get you. You don't lose. As soon as you lose your head, you forget what you're doing. To be frustrated is bad. So, but when you get hurt, you don't feel it. It's a strange. The punches that hurt you don't feel. They numb you. You hit so hard, you just have no feelings. It's just like a shock. Have you ever been hit hard in an accident or a sudden shock, and you feel numb and you don't know where you're at? That's when your actions are that of helplessness, and that's when they stop it. But the punches that hurt are like maybe you might get a thumb in the eye, you might get hit real, or scratch and burn on the jaw, or it might hit the stomach.
No scars?
From boxing, do you see in it?
There was a.
I got a couple of scratches from boxing as an amateur. I butt head, so I got a scratch in my eye.
There was a kid in your high school who had a punch. You said the all-time punch. If he ever hits you,
he hit you so hard, you killing folks in Africa. Yours in Europe.
You'd never get up. And everybody said he's going to get you, or what was that?
Corky Baker.
Corky Baker?
Yeah. You remember those things when you're small. We all got little stories.
Was that the last time you were scared? Was Corky scared you?
No, I never, a little bit nervous. We've never been scared. The only thing I'm fighting of is the bad airplane flights. When the pilot says, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. It looks like we're going to hit a light thunderstorm. We're going to try to get around it. And the wings are doing it already. He hasn't hit it yet.
Well, tell him about Corky. What was Corky's problem? If he hit you, that was the end of the fight.
He picked up cars, in all neighborhoods. You think when you're small, everybody was scared of him. You make you bring him your lunch to school every day, and he's just a big, bad muscle guy, black fella, bad. Everybody was scared of him. And one day he started boxing. I was Golden Glove champion, and he put the gloves on, and they said he was going to kill me. We had a show called Tomorrow's Champions. And see, what happened was if he had got me on the street wrestling or physically, he'd probably killed me. But when it comes to boxing, muscles don't mean nothing. It's whoever can hit and not be hit wins. And being this skinny kid, long arms and real fast, the muscles, he draw back. By the time he do it, I go, 10 times and gone. And the time he swing, I'm over here. See? So that was that type of fight. So I beat him by decision, didn't knock him out.
So you fought, in your own career, you fought men who are stronger than you.
Oh, much stronger. So strong, they use Banderol on.
Who's the strongest? Who's the strongest?
No, the strongest.
Strongest man, just in terms of...
Ernie Schaefer's.
Really?
Yeah, man. He's stronger than Joe Frazier and George Foreman. He hit hard. He's got to hit his record. And I don't know why I picked on him at this late in my career. I didn't really believe he was as good as he was. I predicted he was going around 7. But he was good. He took all I had and he hit real hard.
Americans with short memories should be reminded, this is a fascination to me. You didn't go to the war, you remember that? Oh, well, the champ is, what's the matter? He didn't go to the war. You were one of the most, oh, wait a minute, stay with me. You're in it.
How did I get here?
You were unpopular. You were a political...
Things change, don't they?
Now you're a cartoon on Saturday morning for kids.
There was a time when the name Muhammad Ali, when I joined my Islamic faith, they wouldn't announce me. I went to Madison Square Garden when I said fighting. The guy said, we're not going to call you by that name, that Muslim name. And they wouldn't. I didn't go in the ring. But things changed. Think about this. At one time, a few days ago, girls and people just crying over Elvis Presley. Man, it's old. President Kennedy, a few days ago, the world was shocked. Man, it's old news. Martin Luther King, the black people, everybody thought that the Savior died and they couldn't make it. It's all old. Your mothers, your fathers, your relatives, people, nature, God blesses us with that. Well, we soon forget. And so the things I did, the things that happened years ago, people soon forget. So that's old. There was a time a Ku Klux Klan used to ride through the streets looking for niggas and catch them and burn them up and hang them. No more of that. There was a time when black people couldn't have the seats I see in your show. A few years ago, all I see is black people back there working with everybody so happy and peaceful. Things change. Time brings about change. The winter, summer, fall, seasons change. So therefore, that did happen, but it's old now.
That means that you're going to be the greatest for a very short
Of
time.
all time.
But wait a minute. What's the point of your story is don't take yourself too seriously. And nobody's that good, and the cemeteries are filled with indispensable
The point of my
people.
story is, I don't care how bad something is, tomorrow's old news. And they got to keep printing newspapers. Mary Jo Compagnie, the girl who got drowned with the senator, he's back in the seat talking. Nixon, he's gone fishing. It ain't bad as it was. You can't stay mad for so long. I don't care how mad your wife make you. I don't care how mad she gets you. Just go in another room and stay an hour. She won't be that mad the next hour. And the next day she'll be less madder. So people can't just stay mad all the time.
You've been
every day. And you soon go do something else to do.
We're in Chicago. Have you been talking with Joyce Brothers?
See, I don't care. I don't care how bad news is about yourself or me. Were you married?
No.
Well,
What's the worst thing that can happen to me?
The worst thing that can happen, no, not kill, death or nothing, but a scandal.
I mean, professionally.
Yeah, it may hurt your profession because they take it off TV.
Oh, gosh, I could think of a couple things. I don't know if I'd care to go into them.
Your
Your point is what? That it's tomorrow, huh?
Stay in the house 3 or 4 days and come out, it'll be old. It won't be so good. That day when it's all in the papers, they're reading it, they see it, there he goes.
Yeah.
You'll be ashamed, but stay in 3 or 4 days, it'll be old.
Weren't you ever depressed? You ever get down? Come on. I mean, where you just,
Get down?
emotionally depressed, feeling sad, blue.
I'm thinking, seriously, I don't.
I don't know if you are either.
Well, see, if
You'll
you-
never need a shrink, will you?
If you're deeply religious, or if you truly believe in a God, then you don't really grieve or fear too much about too much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been down. I would if my daughter or son they got killed. That's never happened. Death has never happened real close to me yet. Or to say your mother just passed, that would get me. But nothing like it's happened yet. So I've never been really just down.
We're in Chicago, the home of the heavyweight champion of the world, and we'll be back with Muhammad Ali in just a moment. Muhammad Ali is with us. I thank you for calling. Is the caller there?
Is that me?
Yes, go right ahead.
Champ?
Yeah.
I want you to know you're the greatest. You're the best fighter, the
Tell me something new, man.
It was, but I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Since you're the greatest, why are you so afraid to fight Ken Norton again?
Afraid? I'm not afraid. See, I quit fighting for the sport 2 years ago. I'm fighting as a businessman now.
Well, let me...
It'll cost $12 million.
I'm not talking to you as a businessman. I'm talking to you as a fighter, the greatest fighter that ever was.
Of all times, I improved it. I don't have no reason no more to take hard fights if I can't be satisfied financially. I got to have $4 million to take home clear. With the tax system the way it is, with my manager, he makes his share cut with the expenses. For me to get $4 million, I need $12 million.
Oh, you got money. We all know you have money. But
Rockefellers do too, but he's still trying to get it. I whooped Ken Norton. I've knocked out the man that killed Ken Norton. George Foreman annihilated him. I annihilated Foreman.
Thing, champ. Listen, wouldn't it be the greatest thing for you to end your career by proving that you're smarter, even that you've got the experience and you can outlast and outsmart this guy at the end of your career?
He's got to fight Jimmy Young. I got to fight the winner.
But you know you had trouble with Norton. But now you've seen Norton as three...
I had more trouble with Ernie Schaefer's.
I don't... excuse me, but sir, your question presumes he's not going to fight Norton. You will fight the winner of the Young Norton
We're going to get $12 million.
All right.
I'm too great now, and I got too much fame, and I'm too pretty to be all those tough fights and not getting paid. I don't need Norton.
Hang on just a moment. Hang on a moment.
Okay.
I'd like to know, how would you have felt if you didn't win your last two fights, and how would your life have changed? Would you have protested?
No, I wouldn't have protested. I knew I'd won the fight, if you heard the film, because they had the round-by-round decision, and my trainer would run the dressing room, send the man to the dressing room, and watch the fight while I was fighting live, and he would come back and tell me, you're in here 4 rounds, or you're in here 5 rounds. And going into the last round, by round 11, if I lost every round from 11 to 15, I would have won the fight. I was that far ahead. And by the 15th round, I got some strength. Allah, God gave me some strength. Where it come from had to be Allah, God. The 15th round, I came on so strong and just wiped him out completely. And there wasn't no doubt that I won the fight. So I wasn't worried about losing. But if I had lost the fight, naturally my life would change. I wouldn't be on this TV show talking as bad as I'm talking.
Yes. Hang on a minute.
Okay.
What other sports do you like beside boxing? What do you do beside boxing?
Only one sport I fight. A great fan of mine, one of the biggest fans I have, his name is Pelé, the world's greatest soccer player. And because of him, the only sport I watch is soccer. And because he came to me the day of the fight, came to my room, I met him for the first time, and he stayed with me a few hours, and I went to see his last game, and the only thing I watch is soccer because of him.
I should say that you've got a benefit upcoming for a children's hospital in Chicago. You'll be fighting
5 serious rounds here, no head protection, real fight gloves. The last guy that fought a draw with Spinks, this top-notch Olympic young boy. I'm, what's his name? Scott Ledoux. I'm fighting for 5 rounds, so I want everybody to come out. It's going to be real. I'm not charging no money. He's not charging no money. All the money's going to crippled children.
You want to raise couple $100,000. 400? Wait, as much as you can get, huh? You want to raise $400,000. And this will be the first time you've ever fought in Chicago?
First serious, yeah, never done nothing.
And this, what's the date on this? December something?
December 2nd.
December 2nd. At the auditorium?
Auditorium.
Okay, we're happy to give you that plug. You visited that hospital yesterday,
Yeah,
didn't you?
not yesterday.
You imagine being a kid in a hospital and having this guy walk in the room? How did you tell us about it? I mean, you walked over, you saw the children, and you said, we're going to fight for these kids, or we're going to have a benefit to raise money for the hospital.
Well, I was just approached. I'd rather not talk about it because things you do from your heart, you don't look for credit for it. So God knows what I did, and He'll reward me, so I don't need man's reward. So I'd rather just do it and not talk about it.
I'd like to know, since your name is now affiliated with the Saturday Morning Kids Show, if you feel that being a fighter, your image is good for kids to try to imitate, maybe?
No. I don't think kids should try to be fighters. They shouldn't take part in no sport for a livelihood. They should study and get their brains and find out, get a purpose and get the education and get a trade or do something for sure. Depending on your body or sport, you might not make it. And then when you find out you're not going to make it, it's too late to go back and start over. So I would say for sure, get educated and get your mind together.
Yes. Upon your retirement, who do you predict will be some of the bigger and better hopefuls to succeed your championship?
Well, if Ken Norton was younger, he's 33 years old. He's too old now to be a champion and hold it. So
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
I'm 35. I say to be a champion and hold it. He's too old to be the champion and hold it for a few years.
You did it.
Now I've won the title 22. And I've held it now since I was 22 years old. I'm 35.
Uh-huh.
So, pretty good while. I was a little girl back then, 64.
And so if Norton's too old, then who? How about Leon?
Leon Spinks would be the man. Right now, from what I see, you never can tell. They come from nowhere, like I did. I came from nowhere. They thought I was just a loudmouth. But now people listen.
I was just wondering if ever in the beginning of a fight, if you acted like you were hurt just to get like a psychological advantage over the other guy, like in the Shavers fight.
I do that all the time.
Do you really?
You do that all the time, you say?
It's a lot of time I get hit, I'm I'm watching him. I decided, he comes in and trick him. That's a good question.
So I think he'll be fighting Norton.
You think so?
Sure.
Well, you know,
Is he going to commit himself to fight?
It'll be the same, I'll tell you now. I'll beat Norton by about 1 or 2 rounds. It'll be the same old drag, always. His style and my style, they clash.
Well, I think it'd be a great thing for you to go out on, champ. You know, one last challenge. I
fought him 3 times. Why you got to fight him 4
Well,
times?
I think that's great. Fight him before it. Listen,
I fought
the thing about you is you always came up to the challenge, and I think one great last challenge would be a great thing for you.
No, I just fought the best one, Ernie Schaefer's. Norton.
Oh, you outclassed him.
Norton don't want Schaefer's. Madison Square Garden, all the promoters told me, and Norton admitted he don't want no parts of Ernie Schaefer's. He would knock him out.
He's a bruiser, you know.
I beat George Foreman.
Like you know, it's great to see two boxers going at each other.
Did you know George Foreman, if he come back, he would knock Norton out again?
Yeah, but Foreman's not smart enough.
I'm telling you, I'm the greatest of all times. I done beat them all.
I'm glad you called.
Okay.
And I hope you have a nice day.
Bye.
We'll be back with Muhammad Ali in just a moment. What is that? Somebody brought some boxing gloves in? That's wonderful. Would
For
you kindly...
They're for you.
I know they're 8-inch. They're 8-ounce, too. Those are dangerous. Let me put... Hi, is the caller there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go right ahead.
I see in a magazine here that Antonio Inoki wants to take him on again. I want to know if, if he can handle it, maybe he'll take the match.
Would you take the match?
I was supposed to fight that Japanese wrestler, and some certain people got me in a room and told me we going to rehearse the whole thing. That's after I signed the contract. I said, rehearse it. And then I went to a room and they did a few flips. They showed me how wrestlers fake. And then I was supposed to get in bleed. And this hadn't happened. And even whatever the reason, at the time it was wrong, but later the people found out that the whole thing was bad, and the man who got the people killed and sent them there was wrong, and later they pulled out and admit their loss. So in the end, I was judged as sincere in my religious beliefs by the law of the land, the Supreme Court. They all reviewed my case, they tapped my phone, they followed me, and they said I was sincere, and they took all the crime off of me that they said I had committed. This was like the judge of the land. The government finally admitted. These are the white people who in the Supreme Court, they all said you're right. However hard you might want to get them about it, I was crucified before the judgment.
God declares holy wars. That is part of the Islamic belief?
All through the Bible and the Quran. If you read it good, you'll find out how men fought in the name of God.
Yeah, but that makes me nervous, Muhammad, because I want to know who's going to be doing the interpreting. You know what I mean? How do you know that it's... can't I, as an egomaniac, say, this is, Hitler said, boy, God wants me. I'm sure he had something like that. Or he probably believed that himself. Don't you worry about some messianic guy?
Hitler wasn't no God-sent man. He wasn't talking about God, was he?
No, but, all right, maybe you're right, but the history of man is replete with instances of somebody deciding that God wants me to punch you in the nose. God, no, don't. You know what I mean? You're not worried about that.
Too close.
Huh? Yes.
My name is Marcia Murphy from Boston, Minnesota. Were you an athlete as a child, and what advice would you have for children?
I wasn't an athlete as a child, but I think athletics is good for children, for the health, but I wouldn't try to make a livelihood out of it.
Were you in any other sport?
No other sport. I started boxing at 12, and today I don't follow no sport. I don't watch nothing but soccer.
Hi, I'm Madeline Volpetta from St. Anne, Illinois, and I want to know if you're afraid of fighting that Italian fighter, you might fade out like Joe Louis did, you know? You should think about it.
You think he should be afraid? You talk about Righetti? What is his name?
Am I afraid of what?
You're suggesting that he's afraid of the Italian?
Yeah, I mean, Joe Louis faded out, of course.
You Italian?
Right.
Hey, sister, how you feeling?
Fine, brother.
No, I'm not naturally. I'm conscious of going out a loser after doing so much good, but I don't worry too much about it.
I'm Antoinette Germain from Sheldon, and my son said if I didn't ask you this question, I couldn't come home, so he'd like to see your muscles.
How much time?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'd like to know if you're serious about your movie career and if you have a message in the roles that you do.
Well, all movies that I do, I would like to do something that's good for humanity, and this is why I don't take roles. I've been offered so many. They want to always talk about sex and taking off clothes and certain gestures to make you think things, and that's why I don't do it.
With the terrific fighting and the pounding that you get, aren't you worried about your health in the future?
That's right. This is why after each fight, I run right to the mirror. Soon I go right to I run right to the mirror. But, if you take too many punches, your kidneys can be bad, or your brains can be off. Some fighters, they look like that, Very few fighters today, right now, these Ken Nortons and people you're talking about, and Frazier's and Foreman's, they can't come on this show and talk like this. Most people, I don't say those names exactly, but not naming nobody, but the average fighter, how you feel, champ? Talk about. Seriously, I'm the only boxer that could lecture at Harvard University, Oxford University 2 years ago, in papers, they offered me a professorship to teach philosophy and poetry at Oxford. And I'm about 182 colleges now. My college agent told me, wait and demanding me to lecture on all types of subjects. So very few people, I was blessed for God to have a talent to speak and to think, and I'm not just a boxer. This is what carries me on.
Over here.
Champ, you've been boxing for not for 35 years, been boxing for more than 10 or 15 years. How many? 23. Don't you think it's about time to quit? I mean, you're 35 years old man.
If I had a lower IQ, I could enjoy your question. I think that my manager, Herbert Muhammad, and me, we have more sense than you about who I am and what I got left. I'm wise enough to mastercraft myself up to here, and I don't need you or nobody now to come in to guide me out. I know how to lead. The same God that took me where I'm at now, the same Muhammad Ali, the same Herbert Muhammad, the same lawyers, we can sit around and plan my life much so wise until you can't understand it. We know what we're doing.
Right,
we realize what's involved.
My second question is, 2 years ago they made a record out called Muhammad Ali. I wondered, did you promote that in any way?
There were 12 records out on me, and all of them were kept off the charts for some reason. I got a cartoon that comes on television now, and the white producers of NBC tell me the reason it's not doing too good is because it's a good movie, the cartoon is good, but the white population as a whole, the youth, are not yet ready for black heroes. That's what they told me. NBC, one of the big men on the show. Because I come off good, I'm always beating alligators or crocodiles, and the Tarzan is the hero in America. They're white. The Spider-Man, Superman, these are white images. Jesus, the Lord's Supper, the angels. This country is based on white. So therefore, it's going to be a little while before they start to recognize and little children start looking to black images. So this is why the cartoon don't do the things it should do.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Barb Oldenburg from Wilmot, Wisconsin, and I was wondering, you said you were into a lot of businesses. Is that the line you're going to follow like the rest of your life, or are you going to...
I don't think I said I'm in a lot of businesses, because I'm not. I couldn't say
What do you do when you're not fighting?
Well, shows, TV shows like now, sit at home, my phone rings. When I get home, I'll have I got a call today from Johannesburg, South Africa, from the black leaders of South Africa, want to know if I can come over and give the people any morale, or what can I tell them. And I've been offered so many times to go, but I've been protested by so many African countries not to go. But I have so many calls at home. I'm always on the phone. I'm going places to speak. I'm always doing something. I stay busy. I'm never at home. I'm getting ready to go to a place called Benghazi and Tripoli, Libya. Colonel Gaddafi, the leader of Libya, has invited me and my family to be in his palace for a week just to visit the country. I'm always doing something. I don't know what it's going to be, but I stay busy.
Hi, is the caller there?
I am.
Go right ahead.
Yes, I'm Tom Redpath from Springfield, Illinois, Lee.
Yeah.
Can I call you Lee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not much time.
Okay, I've been watching your fights, and I see in a lot of rounds that you have that you're super good, and in other rounds you seem to play and lose your style. Now, why don't you concentrate on your better fighting abilities?
I don't know. Maybe you should be my manager.
I love you. I've been with you since before you beat the...
Well, see, I tell you what, my friend. I do a lot of things you might not understand.
Yes, I know.
One round I might win the round, I might fight a good fight. Next round I might lay on the ropes. Because I burned so much energy that round. This calculator built inside is telling me that you cannot fight this whole fight. You put everything you had on the man. He didn't tire, you didn't hurt him, and at this pace, I know myself, I cannot keep it up. So you better rest the next round.
Right.
And this is why I fight like I do, because I know myself, I know my condition, I know the man I'm fighting. You can't understand it, but I know. Like I heard something once that says, our knowledge is too limited to judge the actions of God. People say, why all these kids got polio? If there's a God, why did that plane crash and kill all the people in Canary Islands? Probably somebody's on the planes was trying to be worse than Hitler. I don't know. I don't know why God killed him. We can't question God, and you can't question, nobody can question me on why I fight like I fight.
And I got a break.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment. We're just going to show you that it's not size that counts. It's how fast you are. We could charge. What could we get for just this fight? All right, all right. I'm serious now. I mean it. All right.
services provided and promotional fees paid by the new Ford Fairmont, a car built for today but designed for the years ahead. The Ford in your future. Test drive it now. Fairmont, the newest, better idea from Ford.